should put your head down. Hi, how are you? You moving to your chemistry. Close your eyes. I understand how to make change the voice. So I just go up there.
Can I have volunteer light a candle? No, shake it. Don't shake. Don't shake it.
Okay.
Separate candle. Anyone else? Yeah, one more candle.
Please sit down. So today, before we start our meditation, we will have a short a ceremony of blessing for birthday. So we'd like to take the opportunity to express our appreciation and loving kindness to all our friends whenever they are having their birthdays. So today we have a very special person who will be celebrating birthday in a few days. So I invite our Nancy Mudita to come over here. Yeah, I can kneel down over here. So this is a special plate. It was arranged for you. And we want to wish you continuous growth in your spiritual practice and good health. Today, I'm so glad that you were able to come here with Jamila because we know that for last many years you have helped us to celebrate birthdays of our friends because you are the one who will bring a cake. So I'm so glad. Yeah. I'm so glad that we were able to do it today for you, and thankful to Jamila for bringing you, and especially this time that you needed these blessings and these good wishes and loving kindness for all of us, because you need a healing, recovery. So we all of us let us radiate our loving kindness and our good wishes to her for your whole body to regenerate and to heal within, and then have a speedy recovery. So we will wish that for you. At the same time, maybe you also have more opportunities to even at from home to practice this spiritual path, and may you receive more guidance and more help, more support for you to continue your path. So with that, we will chant for you, and you can have this. And I will let you know when you have to chant, when you have to light. Okay. Yeah. So we will going to chant a blessing verses for you, and we wish Nancy to receive the blessings of the great compassion of the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha. And by the power of these blessings, may Nancy be blessed with good health, healing, and recovery. And may you receive all the support and guidance for you to practice this teaching. May you continue to grow in your spiritual path, blossoming with your compassion and wisdom. May Nancy be well, be strong, be healthy, and be peaceful. Bhavatu sabbha mangalang rakkantu sabbha devata sabbha buddhanubhavena sada sutti bhavantu te. Bhavatu sabbha mangalang rakkantu sabbha devata sabbha dhammanubhavena sada sutti bhavantu te. Bhavatu sabbha mangalang rakkantu sabbha devata sabbha sanghanubhavena sada sutti bhavantu te. Can you walk, or you can ask? Yeah, we can stand up. Yeah. Okay. So please touch this plate from the bottom and wish a happy birthday and healing. Start from that way. Happy and healthy birthday. Bless it. Okay. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Now we can move to our chanting. Please turn to page 5 of our chanting book. Salutation to the Buddha. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. The three refuges. Buddhang saranang gacchami, dhammang saranang gacchami, sanghang saranang gacchami, dutiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami, dutiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami, dutiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami, tatiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami, tatiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami, tatiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami. Next page. 5 precepts. Panati pata veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami, adinādāna veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami, kāmesu micchācārā veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami, musāvādā veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami, suramire majja pamadatthana veramani sikkhapadang
samadhiyami. On the opposite page, let's read the affirmative vows. Being aware of the suffering caused by the destruction of life, I vow to cultivate compassion and learn ways to protect the lives of all living beings. Being aware of the suffering caused by exploitation, stealing, and oppression, I vow to respect the property of others and to practice generosity by sharing my time, energy, and material resources with those who are in real need. Being aware of the suffering caused by sexual misconduct, I vow to respect my commitments and those of others. I am determined not to engage in relations without love and long-term commitment. Being aware that words can create suffering, I vow to learn to speak truthfully and develop peaceful, kind, and meaningful speech. Being aware of the suffering that an intoxicated and agitated mind can produce, I vow to develop mindfulness and heedfulness. Next page. Homage to the Buddha. Iti piso bhagava arehang samma sambuddho Vidyācarana sampanno sugato lokavidu Anuttaro purisa dhamma sarati Satta deva manussanang buddho bhagavati. Homage to the Dhamma. Swakhato bhagavata dhammo sanditthiko akaliko ehi pansiko openaiko pancatang veditabbo vinyuhiti. Homage to the Sangha. Supatipanno bhagavato savaka sangho Ujupatipanno bhagavato savaka sangho Nyaya patipanno bhagavato savaka sangho Samici patipanno bhagavato savaka sangho Yadidang chattari purisa yugani Adhe purisa punggala Esa bhagavato savaka sangho Ahuniyo pahuniyo Dakhtiniyo anjali karaniyo Anuttarang punyak ketang lokassari. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Next page. Offerings. Offering of light. Ganesarappaditthena dīpena tamadang sina tiloka dīpang sambuddhang pujayami tamonudang. Offering of incense. Gandha sambhara yuttena Dupenahang sugandhina Pujaye pujaniyang tang Puja bhajana muttamang. Offering of flowers. Vannegandhe gunopetang etang kusuma santatin pujayami munindasya siripada saruruhe pujemi buddhang kusumena nena punyena etena labami mokkang pumpang milayati yathai mi kayo tatayati vinasa bhavam. Offering of water. Adivase no bante paniyang parikampitang anukampang upadaye patigan hatu uttama. Offering of drinks. Adivase no bante gilane panchayang imang anukampang upadaye patigan hatu uttama. Worship of shrines. Vandami jetiyang sambang sambedani supatititang saririka dhatu mahabodhing buddharupang sakalang sada. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Next page. Wish of well-being. Ikcheva manchanta namaste niyang namaste manu ratenandayang punyabhi sandang vipulang alantang tansanu bhavena hatanta rayo Reflections on the teachings of the Buddha in English. Mind is the forerunner of all experiences. Mind is chief. Mind-made are they. If one speaks or acts with an impure mind, suffering follows like the bee that follows the foot of the ox. Mind is the forerunner of all experiences. Mind is chief. Mind-made are they. If one speaks or acts with a pure mind, happiness follows like one's own shadow that never leaves. Generosity, kind words, benevolent actions towards others, and equanimity towards all beings and all things. These bonds of sympathy function in the world like the linchpin in a moving heart. One by one, little by little, moment by moment, wise people should remove their impurities as a smith removes the dross from silver. For one who mindfully develops boundless loving kindness, mental defilements are weakened and the freedom from clinging is seen. All conditioned things are impermanent. When one sees this with wisdom, one turns away from suffering. This is the path to purification. All conditioned things are unsatisfactory. When one sees this with wisdom, one turns away from suffering. This is the path to purification. All things are not self. When one sees this with wisdom, one turns away from suffering. This is the path to purification. Excellent, excellent, excellent.
Today, Bante Metta has to leave. He was invited to give a talk, online talk, for the Blue Lotus Temple in Chicago. So 8 o'clock he has a talk. Okay, so let us help each other to do a very wholesome meditation. And this is the time that we can give our full attention to ourselves. And it's such a precious moment that we have the time and we have this opportunity to turn our whole attention to ourselves and genuinely look into our own body and mind and give our body and mind a chance to settle down, to relax, and also to cultivate wholesome qualities that we all are capable of. So all the capacity that we have within ourselves, our capacity for loving kindness, compassion, our capacity for insight, clarity, mindfulness, all can be further enhanced. So this is exactly the practice for that enhancement. So rejoice this moment, rejoice your effort to come here today, and make a determination that I will engage in this practice wholeheartedly, and I will make use of this wonderful gathering. I will make use of this wholesome space, and I will make use of this guidance, and I will engage in a committed practice. So make that determination now. With that determination, listen to the sound of the bell and to the chant. Let us use the sound of the bell and the chant to gather our attention this moment. We can bring our attention to our body, exactly how we feel our body at this moment. Paying attention to the pressed muscles in your body against the cushion or chair, observing that point of contact and noticing those pressed muscles. And then bringing our awareness to any parts of the body where we feel any other touch sensation with our clothes or our body parts are touching each other. And just notice all these areas as a way of bringing your attention to the present moment. So listen to the sound of the bell and the chant. Throughout the sound and the chant, keep gathering your attention and remain within your body. Namo Buddhaya. Namo Buddhaya. Feel your body. Let us be with our body, just resting in this present moment. With this awareness of the body, we will now invite our body to further relax and loosen any tightness it may have in any parts of the body. And this is a good opportunity for us to help our body to go into a healing mode, a resting mode. We are all in a very safe environment, in a very friendly gathering, in a very wholesome space. So therefore we can let go of all the concerns and allow this body to fully relax. We can allow our parasympathetic nervous system to activate, setting our body into a healing mode, resting mode, a regenerating mode. So in order to further relax your body, let us use our breath. If you find any tightness in any parts of the body, maybe your shoulders, maybe in your back, or belly, or chest, wherever it is, bring your whole attention to that area. And while paying attention to that area, you may take a nice, long, deep breath. Fill your lungs with fresh air with a little longer breath. And release that breath very slowly, allowing that tight area to open up, relax, and loosen up. Take another such little longer breath and release in that breath slowly, allowing whole body to loosen up and relax. Take such few longer breaths. And while you are breathing out, allow the whole body further relax, loosen up. With this relaxed body, let us bring our whole attention to our mind itself. While our body is resting, we will bring our attention to the mind and noticing whatever thoughts, memories that may come to our mind right now. We will have a calmer, relatively calmer mind right now. But we may still can have different thoughts occurring once in a while, different memories surfacing. Take a moment to notice them. Without continuing any thought further, we will simply notice, watch. Various thoughts keep popping up one after the other. These are random thoughts. But right now, we will purposely generate a wholesome thought, a wholesome quality, loving kindness. Loving kindness is the genuine wish of well-being. Loving kindness is the goodwill towards all living beings. It is the willingness for everyone to be well, a universal friendliness. We will now allow that wholesome quality to come to the surface of the mind. This is a good time to allow this wholesome quality to manifest. Let us open our heart, purposely generate this wholesome quality. Open your heart just like when you are sitting with a little baby. When we are with a little baby, when you see a little baby, how open is your heart? Or whenever you are petting a puppy, a kitten, or any other little creature, in such moments, how open is your heart? Readiness to care, genuine wish of well-being and safety. Let us open our heart just like that, generating that wholesome wish. we will cultivate this wholesome quality. We will make this wholesome quality stronger and stronger. We can do it by making more and more loving kindness wishes to ourselves and many others. We will start directing this loving kindness to all people and beings. We will start with directing this loving kindness to ourselves, to this person sitting here, this living organism sitting here. Just like we had that kind, compassionate, loving attitude towards that baby, little creature, we will have the same level of acceptance, loving and kind attention to ourselves. We are also a baby deserving this loving kindness. Let us take this moment to embrace ourselves like a baby, genuinely wishing well-being. We will be generous to ourselves. We will be forgiving to ourselves and accepting ourselves and radiating that wholesome wish to this person sitting here. Repeat these good wishes in your mind. May this person sitting here be well, be safe, be healthy, be peaceful. Be well, be safe, be healthy, be peaceful. Let us keep radiating this loving kindness to this whole body. Paying attention to the different parts of the body with this level of kindness and wish of well-being. With deep appreciation of this body for helping us to live this precious life for many, many years. Wishing well-being, healing to the whole body. Repeat these wishes in your mind. May these lungs, the whole respiratory system, be well, be healthy, be healed. May this heart, the cardiovascular system, be well, be healthy, be healed. May this digestive system, the stomach, liver, pancreas, intestine, colon, the whole digestive system be well, be healthy, be healed. May these kidneys, the whole genitourinary system be well, be healthy, be healed. May this nervous system, the spinal cord, the brain, the central nervous system be well, be healthy, be healed. May all the muscles, all the bones throughout the body, all the joints throughout the body be well, be healthy, be healed. Let us now expand this wish beyond ourselves to all others, wholeheartedly, wishing the same well-being to all other people. May all beloved people in our life genuinely share this loving kindness and genuinely wish well-being to all the beloved people in your life, beloved family members, good friends. May they all be well, be safe, be healthy, be peaceful. May all people sitting with us right now, let us expand this wish to everyone meditating with us in this hall right now. May all these spiritual friends, including these monks, may they all be well, be safe, be healthy, Be peaceful. Let us expand this wish to embrace as many people as we can to our wish. May all people living in our surrounding area, no matter who they are, may all people living in this whole surrounding area be well, be safe, be healthy, be peaceful. Let us expand this wish beyond this immediate area to all people living in faraway places. May all people living in faraway cities, in faraway states, in faraway countries, may all people living in the direction of our front be well, be safe, be healthy, be peaceful. May all people living in faraway places in the direction of our right be well, be safe, be healthy, be peaceful. May all people, all beings living in the direction of our back, may all of them be well, be safe, be healthy, be peaceful. May all people living in the direction of our left, in faraway places in that direction, be well, be safe, be healthy, be peaceful. May all people living throughout this globe, in all over this whole globe, may all of them Be well. Be safe. Be healthy. Be peaceful. Let us expand this wish beyond human beings to all other beings, all animals, from large ones to tiny ones, all animals living everywhere. Be well. Be safe. Be healthy. Be peaceful. Peaceful. Whatever life forms there may be, may all forms of life, each and every living organism, without exception, be well, be safe, be healthy, be peaceful, peaceful, peaceful. With this unbound loving kindness, radiate into all beings. Rejoice this wholesome state of the mind. This loving kindness embraces all beings. It has no barriers, no limits, embracing all beings with this loving kindness wish. Having such a wholesome state of the mind, let us now gently direct our attention to our breathing. Let us deepen the calmness, the stillness that we have developed with loving kindness. We will deepen it by resting with our breath. bringing your close attention to the sensations of the breath. Feel the air moving through your nostrils, how the air touching the inner walls of the nostrils, giving you a kind of cooling sensation. Try to feel it. And notice the air when the air is coming out, again through touching the sweeping the inner walls of the nostrils, and then touching your upper lips and going away. And let us watch this breath happening right now. This is our resting place. We can quietly, gently keep watching our breath. And try to observe the details of the sensation. Every breath is a new breath. Every breath is a new experience. Let us stay with our breath. Whenever we have other thoughts or memories, we simply notice them, acknowledge them, and simply say thoughts, 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 not real, and come back to the breath. Let us keep coming back to the breath again and again, no matter how many times. Just keep coming back. Mindfully breathe in. Mindfully breathe out. In this last few minutes, we'll give our full effort to be with our breath, to rest with our breath. Dukkha patache nidukha bhayapattache nibbaya Sukhapattache nisukha hontu sabbepi paninu. May all those who are suffering be free from suffering. May all those who are in fear be free from fear. May all those who are grieving be free from grief. May all beings be well and happy. Gently come out of your meditation. Gently put your palms together and place them against your chest. Let us take a moment to feel grateful for this opportunity to have peaceful meditation in our life. Let us feel grateful to all the great teachers, enlightened masters in the past who transmitted these teachings from generation to generation. Let us also feel grateful to whoever helped your practice tonight. Feel grateful to anyone who encouraged you and supported you to come here. And feel grateful to all the guidance and instructions you received. And even feel grateful to these non-living things which helped your meditation, including this cushion, this chair, this bell, and everything. With deep gratitude, let us say sadhu 3 times. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Okay. So, is everyone in the healing mode? Yes. 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 So you couldn't practice meditation in this setting for some time, right? Yeah. Was there any difference today?
Meditating?
Yes.
A little bit.
Little bit, yeah. Any sharing or questions of your practice? Okay.
This is my second time meditating, and I would say the second time is harder because you're expecting the silence instead of it being a little bit more normal.
Okay. I'm glad that you see the problem and also you see the cause of the problem. Right. Yeah. Yeah. What do you mean by hard? It's like a distracting thoughts or physical discomfort? Or?
I would say it's more. I think the physical is like the surface level, and then once you get over and you start to relax, then the mind starts to kind of wander. So both.
Okay. So it was hard means you had more distracting thoughts in this session than the previous one?
Yeah.
Okay. Again, sometime, we find that, we have more distracting thoughts than the previous one because we notice more thoughts. Yeah. So sometimes we have thoughts and, without our knowing, we just lost in the thoughts. We just keep thinking about it and take a while for us to come back. And then again, we are in the, meditation, and then again, we have another thought. So we spend more time in being lost in the thoughts. So we feel like we only distracted 2-3 times. But in fact, we have been wandering for long. But, when we develop our meditation, we begin to see as soon as thought occurs, we know, it's here. Okay, notice thoughts, and come back. And next moment, again, you notice another one. So maybe you have been noticing like 10 thoughts, for example. But it's more progress than the previous 3 thoughts that we were lost. Then, 10 thoughts that you were able to notice and detect.
Yeah.
So our awareness is stronger, so we begin to notice more thoughts. And we can also develop more insights based on those whatever thoughts visiting us. Because those thoughts coming to us is kind of, showing us, what kind of, thoughts are frequently occurring in us. If you really pay attention, what kind of issue that's bothering me. So we get to know, we can develop more self-understanding. And sometimes most of the thoughts are visiting us part of our self-talk. And which is really important to understand, what is the way I talk to myself most of the time. Self-talk. Because that's the way we talk to us, the way that we have this inner talk. It's so important to understand, our nature of our mental tendencies. And then if you find that our self-talk is mostly not helpful, sometimes, negative, and then it's a good realization, good discovery. What kind of thoughts frequently occurring in me, and what is how I think about, what are these, talking that happening inside me, and it's a good discovery, and it's a good insight. Then we can work on them. So sometimes the effective, fruitful meditation doesn't mean it's always calm. That's only one benefit of meditation. But sometimes, meditation with a lot of thoughts, but that is a difference between, calm meditation and insight meditation. We call samatha meditation and vipassana meditation. Yes.
Yeah, I just want to point out the experiences I had. I was battling with the self-talk as usual. But then there were some moments where you were guiding the meditation and you were talking about remember, family or remember things. I can't remember exactly what you were saying, but I got images of places that I've been, images of family and friends and moments, and those didn't feel like intrusive thoughts that were chatter anymore. They felt like almost like I was where I was supposed to be in my mind. And it's calming. So that's the sort of thing that we're reaching for. Is that correct? Like that isn't self-talk. Is that
the wholesome self-talk? Yeah. So we did two types of meditation. We have two different approaches. The first kind we did loving kindness is we are not aiming at stopping thoughts or calming thoughts. We are aiming at generating one kind of thoughts and proliferating those thoughts more and more and more, but one kind. So it's a different practice. Our goal is to generate this loving kindness thoughts more and more and more and more. So instead of calming calming the mind with thoughts, we're actually filling the mind with thoughts. But not any thought, not like any random thoughts, but we are filling it with purposeful, directed thoughts, and that is loving kindness thoughts, right? So therefore, those thoughts that is the one type of meditation that we fill our mind with the thoughts that we want, or with the thoughts that are wholesome. So then it is easier for us to move into other forms of meditation too. But our goal here is to fill our mind with that, wholesome, loving kindness thoughts, and making these repeated, wishes, and then filling our mind. So once we fill our mind with wholesome thoughts, the effect of the wholesome thoughts, it will lead us to a calmness. So rather than like directly, focusing on a neutral object like a breath or visual object, and directly going to calmness, this approach is you fill your mind with wholesome thoughts, and then from there go into the calmness. Because there are more benefits of filling our mind with wholesome thoughts, because we are, as a result, we are actually training our mind to have more thoughts. Like when you purposely generate these thoughts, those thoughts become your self-talk, like automatic talk. Right? So it's good, right? If you have automatic thoughts, it's like be well and happy, be well and happy. How good is that, right? When you see someone in the road, you be well and happy, right? If you see a creature, bird, say well and happy. And then we just, have that will be, self-talk. Even you think about yourself, be well and happy. I'm also a baby, need some attention, be well and happy. Right? So it's a wholesome self-talk. Right? So we want to train our mind by doing that again and doing again, to the point that when you drive and someone cut you off, we say be well and happy. That will be the test of your meditation. Can you do that? But anyways, it's really healing us, right? So, but in the second type of meditation, which is breathing, and that's a neutral object. So there, we want to replace thoughts with breathing experience. So, but so that's a different exercise, but we can combine both. Yeah. Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you for the question, Bante. So we will this. Yeah. Okay. Let us move to our discussion, and we decided to go through the chanting book. So Bante, we discussed Namaskari last time. So now it is. Because we have been chanting this book, and I thought that because we completed this studying of the Loving Kindness Sutra, which is the end at the end of the book, I thought that maybe we start a discussion on going through the chanting book and understanding a little bit deeper meaning of every section. So we studied the first one, salutation of the Buddha. We did that. And how we explain Saranagumani, 3 refuges. Yes, 3 refuges. Yes. So as a part of our chanting, we this is very traditional way that any Buddhist practice usually start with salutation of the Buddha, and start with reaffirming the 3 refuges and the 5 precepts. It's more like a reminding ourselves and reaffirming. So that's how any Buddhist ceremony will start. So let's try to understand what we really mean by 3 refuges. So here you see 3 refuges. So in the Buddhist practice, we recognize that there are 3 refuges, or that there are 3, sometimes we also call triple gem. But there are 3 places or 3 states that we can take refuge in. So the first refuge is the Buddha. Second one is the Dhamma. Third one is Sangha. So if you go to this chanting, if you read the translation, I go to the Buddha for refuge. I go to the Dhamma for refuge. I go to the Sangha for refuge. Let's see what we really mean by that. When you think about refuge, and refuge is a safe place, is foundation for stability, right? And it's kind of oasis in the middle of a desert. That kind of so in our life, when you think about the experience that we are going through, and also the vulnerability that we may expose to internally and externally, and it's really important that we have a form of refuge. But in the Buddhist practice, what we mean by refuge is developing the inner strength, developing the inner confidence with the support of the 3 refuges. So taking refuge in the Buddhist context does not mean that you become a refugee. I think those who have gone through the precept ceremony, I think we did the class on that, right? It's not a becoming refugee, actually, but not really becoming a completely dependent person. That's not the goal. This is a step towards developing more inner confidence, more inner stability, more inner resource. But in order to develop that stability, inner strength and confidence, we need some practice, we need some support. So taking refuge is a step towards developing inner confidence, inner strength, and inner stability. So that is why what we mean by refuge. And then, of course, we have to ask, why do we need a refuge? I mean, why do we need a refuge? And do we need a refuge? Yes. Mm. We need refuge in two ways. One is it's a refuge. Refuge. The need for refuge comes to us when we understand somewhat the reality of life. When you understand the reality of life, then we understand the need for refuge. If you deeply think about the nature of our life, we know that our life is not that solid. Right? It's not that solid. It's such a a delicate thing. And that is the very nature of the life. If anything to be alive, it has to be fragile. It has to be impermanent. It has to be arising and passing, right? So I think if anything is fixed and permanent, that means it's dead like rock. Even rock is not dead, actually. Right? So the impermanence is the very essence of being alive. So our life is such, it is fragile. So that's one. So once you understand the impermanence of life, and then at the same time understand the nature of our mind, that how our mind is very good at some time to make us suffer, right? And you have enough experience, how our mind, sometimes our own mind can be our worst enemy. But it can also be our best friend, but you have to train it, right? So when you think about the vulnerability of our life, if you don't have a training, if you don't have a discipline, and this mind can bring so much suffering to our life. It can develop so many biases, so many defilements, so many bad tendencies, so many prejudices. It can create all kinds of things. So we understand the vulnerability of our mind, and as a result, we may experience repeated cycles of suffering. So if there's no training, and our mind is vulnerable to generate all kinds of habitual patterns that bring us to the same suffering again and again, again and again, again and again. And in the Buddhist worldview, belief is that this repeated cycle of suffering happens not only in this life, but it can also happen beyond the life too. So therefore, there's such a vulnerability of our mind if we don't start a training. So when you understand first the impermanence of life, and second, vulnerability of our mind, how much suffering this mind can bring to us if you don't train it. And that deeper understanding of those things can, develop the need. I need to do something about this, So that the refuge, need of refuge comes as a result of that deep realization. The second thing is that when we deeply understand how vulnerable we ourselves are for suffering, we also understand how all other beings are also the same. So then you develop not only the need for yourself, you also develop deeper compassion. I don't want to hurt anyone because they are already in pain. I mean, they already have, not even not right now, but they already have all the causes and conditions for them to get into suffering if they are not in pain. You don't want to hurt anyone. They already, have reasons to, suffer sooner or later. So therefore, we develop deep compassion. And so that is, so deep understanding of life generate this need for refuge. And so therefore, so the need for refuge comes with this deep understanding of life and compassion. And then we recognize that, the almost like a given, the habitual tendency of the mind is to find ways to make us unhappy. And then we learn about the negative bias of the mind, right? And then and therefore what is required in order to overcome this is a great transformation. It's also learning that the way our mind operates in normal way is not the optimal way it can operate. And there's more room. We can change it. So knowing there's an optimal way, there's more further transformation we can do. But the kind of transformation we talk about is quite demanding. It's almost like rewiring our brain. Yeah, literally. And what you did in meditation is also, in a way, changing your neural network. And naturally, habitually, we want to defend ourselves. We want to suspect others. We want to, doubt others. We have this self-preservation all the time. And so what we did was like removing a little bit and being trusting others and genuinely wishing well-being. So the kind of transformation we want in order to overcome our suffering is quite demanding. So we need, more training, gradual training. So that is why we need some support to make this training. So that is why we are looking for a refuge to start this transformation. So for that, we need an example, we need a method, we need support. So, and then we also need kind of grounding. So the word refuge, like a three refuge, like taking the Buddha as a refuge and Dhamma and the Sangha as a refuge, what we are really doing is one, we kind of ground ourselves. Rather than like moving here and there, we ground ourselves. And then we also start this transformation that truly happening within us. And then also in order to have that transformation, we also have to have a direction to our life, where we are going. And not only like dealing with day-to-day issues, the paying bills and paying taxes, it's not only that, life should have to have a direction. Right? So having three refuges has to have a direction to life. The direction to life is overcoming suffering in ourselves and everyone else. So that's usually, when you take the three refuges, you have a navigation, you have a direction, a destination to your life. The destination is freedom from suffering for yourself and for everyone else. That's the destination. So then we have an orientation to our life. So that orientation comes from, this taking this refuge. So when you say, I go to the Buddha for refuge, what you're really doing is that you are, there are two meanings to the Buddha here. One is the historical Buddha who lived 6th century BCE, who discovered that suffering can be overcome, who discovered the vulnerability of the suffering, and then also possibility of overcoming it completely, and then achieve that the optimal level of our consciousness, and then wanted everyone else to achieve that. And so the Buddha didn't want to be, I'm the Buddha, you are all not Buddha. And what he really wanted is in everyone else to achieve this freedom of suffering. So therefore we have a historical figure who somehow truly understood and recognized this vulnerability of suffering and the mechanism of suffering and also the way out of it. So therefore we have a teacher. We have someone who discovered this possibility. So when we say I go to the Buddha for refuge, means I regard the historical Buddha as the teacher, as the guide for this transformation. The second meaning of the Buddha is that of course we know that the Buddha is not the name of the historical Buddha. I think you know the name of the historical Buddha, right? Yeah, Siddhartha Gautama. Yeah, Gautama was his family name. Yeah, Siddhartha Gautama or Gautama. But the term Buddha is a state that he achieved, the awakened state. So in the second meaning of the Buddha is that the possibility, the potential that each and every one of us is having, the Buddhahood that is within ourselves. It's like a lotus bud, not blossomed yet, So you cannot call yourself the Buddha, at least in the kind of Theravada tradition. We don't call ourselves the Buddha, but we call ourselves Buddha to be, like a lotus bud. So the second meaning of the Buddha is that potential that we all have to become enlightened of this transformation. So the second meaning is also taking refuge in the very potential of yourself to wake up, to awaken. So when you take refuge in the Buddha, one way we have a historical example. The first ever, person in this particular period. Of course, there were many other Buddhas in other periods too, but in this round of our civilization on this earth, we have, the Buddha was the first one to recognize that ability. So we take him as our guide, as our teacher. So we have a guide. So our journey is not lost, not unguided. We have a guide, we have a coach, guide, a teacher. That is the Buddha, historical Buddha, and also trusting that the same enlightenment is possible within me. So Buddha within, the outer Buddha and the inner Buddha. The second one is the Dhamma. Dhamma also has two meanings, two levels. One is the teachings of the Buddha, what Buddha has taught about human life, what the Buddha has talked about suffering in life, and also possibility of overcoming it. So all the techniques and methods that he has taught. So it's the teachings of the Buddha, what we find in the Buddhist text. So when you say I to go to the Dhamma for refuge means, and then you accept to follow the techniques and methods that Buddha has given to us to follow to achieve the same, the freedom that he has achieved. So the Dhamma is the teachings, the Buddha. The second meaning of the Dhamma is because what Buddha has taught is not something he invented. He discovered. He discovered the reality, what is really happening. First, he discovered what is really going on in our life, what is really happening. And in true sense, like really going into the deep of our mind. And second, he realized how we can change it. So what he didn't invent the Dhamma, he discovered the Dhamma. So therefore, the second meaning of a Dhamma is the ultimate reality, the true nature of the one is the way our mind normally works, and also the second is the potential it has, and then the true that reality as it is. So when you say I take the Dhamma for refuge, one is you take the teachings of the Buddha as your path, that you practice. And you also knowing that is also the reality, true ultimate reality of our existence, which is not very visible to us, not really, revealed to us yet, but that is what we are aiming to experience. So taking refuge in the Dhamma means accepting the teachings of the Buddha, taking the teachings of the Buddha as my path. We have a teacher, someone who's showing the path, and then we have the path to walk. You have a method, you have a techniques, you have a set of practices that we can do. So taking them as a refuge. Third one, Sangha. Sangha means a community, and so actually that means whoever has walked this path before us, and who has started to follow this path before us, who can support us in our own journey. So the most visible manifestation of the Sangha are the monastic community. But it's not limited to monastic community. Whoever has walked this path before us, even the other enlightened disciples, whoever are the enlightened sages, whose life story can be so inspiring, so related to us. And the Buddha was like a discoverer, the teacher, and the Sangha means other human beings who have walked this path and achieved, either complete freedom of suffering or relative freedom of suffering. So Sangha means the community of practitioners, or community of maybe advanced practitioners. So when you say I take refuge in the Sangha, that means you are taking the disciples of the Buddha, monastic community, or whoever committed to this practice, this path. I take them as my support. So you have a teacher, a guide, you have a path to walk, and you have a supporting community. You have a support that to share your experience, be inspired by. And this happened not only to the Buddha. This path was working for many other people, many other beings. So like learning from them, and then getting inspiration, support from them. So that is what we mean by taking refuge in the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha. So having a goal to life, having a orientation to life, having ground into life, having some protection to life. Because whenever you have the Buddha as your guide and the Dhamma as your path and Sangha as your support, you're really starting that transformation. So that whole practice definitely will protect you from vulnerability of repeating the suffering again and again. Will protect you from even outer dangers, because you are doing good karma. You are behaving kind and compassionate way that has an effect from the world to protect you. So there'll be a protection in that way too. You will not be going into unnecessary dangers because of you, and what you give to the world is safety, protection. You make everyone feel safe, therefore you will not be receiving any danger and threats, because that is not what you give to the world. So the other way of explaining this is also like Buddha as a doctor, like a doctor who can diagnose our disease and prescribe the medicine. And Dhamma is, if the Buddha is doctor, what is Dhamma? Medicine. The medicine that we have to use. You cannot just keep it. You have to really use it. And then the Sangha are the nurses. Yeah. So that's the other simile. Yeah. Any other question? Yeah.
Why in the first place? I mean, why do we exist? Why are we on this ball going around another ball in the middle of nowhere?
Yes, that's a good
I don't get it.
Yeah,
There's all
simple.
the infinite
Simple.
out-
Yeah.
There's all the other things.
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about why we are as the beings, as these beings which are like operating, existing as individual being, and then
I know we keep coming back.
yes,
And it's like,
yeah.
what the hell?
Infinity.
The simple answer is called ignorance and craving. These are the two simple answers I can give you: blind ignorance and craving. Craving play a very important role here. The craving is the one that reproduces our individuality again and again. Craving is the one that reproduces our, self, like separate notion of self again and again, because we have craving for this self identity. So we keep reproducing it. But we are doing it because we are unable to see the actual mechanism of what we recognize as self. We think that there's a permanent unit here, need to be preserved, need to be protected, need to be do whatever. So we keep attaching to it, keep doing things, but we do it because of our inability to see the actual process happening here. So
But
yeah.
don't we have to be to do that first? I mean, I
No,
want to know
that's an
why
interesting
we
question.
be.
Yeah, that's very
Why
interesting
are we
question. Yeah,
being?
no, we be because of that. So this is very interesting. When Buddha talked about our craving, he said that first manifesto of the craving is feeling, you feeling like my.
I mean, but
No,
is that
my comes
I
before.
become, the two cells in my mother? I mean, or
Okay. No.
why did we
Yeah.
start in
Yeah.
the first place?
Maybe we had to have a series of classes to explain. Okay,
You know what I mean?
so
Like-
maybe the brief, because it's not these are the questions that we cannot answer with one word and in one session. But as a support, this is any like living organism, any complex living organism, at one point can create craving for its own organism. Like let's say, trees and plants, they're so nicely blend with the nature, moving and being there. They have no craving, they have no sense of, self-identity. Just blend with the nature, plants. And we are the one who, who are suffering and creating all the problems for ourselves. So what can happen is that whenever there's a complex living organism, just respond to the environment, blending with the nature, and that complex living organism, at one time, because of this complexity, because of its interaction with the environment, can create this notion of self. I'm separate from this everything. From that moment onward, is constructing the self again, again. That can give rise to the whole journey. So we could have been plants and little living organisms at one time, and somehow created this notion of self, and then now we are reproducing it again until we dissolve it with training. That will be the simple way to put it. Yeah.
I'll think about it.
When you reincarnate, do you always come back to this planet or do you go to other planets?
That's a very good question. Yes. Yes. I think it depends on our karmic potentials, the karmic force that we have, developed in this life. But, it's not human life is only one form of life. We can also be other non-human beings based on our karmic, energy. Because sometimes we are in human form, but we can do things which are not human. And if you continue to do that, very inhuman things, and you develop that nature, that karmic energy, that will then next time you will not be in the human realm, because your mind is already non-human. And we can also develop our mind to even superhuman, even this human form. So when we fashion our consciousness in that way, so you'll be in different realms. But talking about planets, actually, the way the Buddhism explain, the Buddhist concept is not a universe; it's a multiverse. There are other parallel planets, and this is solar system is only one, thing. But we talk about it like so. We can have other planets, and and the reason that this Earth is getting more populated could have been some beings from other planets and becoming born here. Maybe other planets is not getting maybe. Every planet go through different phases. One time is good for life, another time is degrading and become unsuitable for life. So in that moment, those beings have to be good and find another planet. So I don't know. Now this planet is suitable for life. I don't know, in 1,000 years, it will slowly become unsuitable. Maybe another planet, then we become suitable for life. So it's possible we can go across, other planets too. Yeah. Sorry, I think we are we have passed the time today. But anyway, so coming back to the refuge, there's a great meaning, why we are doing this. I hope that you say 3 times. You say, for the second time, I go for the third time. This is like reminding ourselves and reaffirming our commitment, reminding ourselves that we are in a spiritual journey, and we have a goal in our life, and we have a destination. So it's reminding it again is important. That is why when we start a Buddhist ceremony, we remind that ourselves. And we do it 3 times. Maybe, the early teachers, maybe the Buddha knew that we are not mindful all the time. And when you say, I go for the refuge for first time, you maybe think about something else. So 3 times is like confirming, like anything, any bill has to pass after, saying it 3 times. So like confirming, practically, maybe if you say 3 times, at least one time, be mindful of what you say. Okay. So with that, let's move to the other part of the program. So, you cannot continue our discussion. So let us now take this moment to share the goodness that we have generated here with everyone else by coming to this practice, doing this meditation wholeheartedly, and engage in this wholesome discussion, we have generated so much goodness, so much good karma in our hearts. We call merits. Let us now share these merits with everyone else. First of all, recall to your mind your departed relatives, your family members, and share these merits with them with deep gratitude for all the care and support and love they have given to you. With deep gratitude, let us think about them and share this merit with them. May they be benefited from these merits. May they be well, happy, and peaceful wherever they may be. Idang mi ñātinang hotu sukhita hontu ñāpayo. Idang mi ñātinang hotu sukhita hontu ñāpayo. Idang mi ñātinang hotu sukhita hontu ñāpayo. Sharing merits with all other living beings. If there's any being in this world who would like to share this merit, may he or she do so. May all living beings share our merit. May all living beings be well, happy, and peaceful. Ittavata ca amhi sambhatam punya sampadam sabbe deva anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya sabbe bhuta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya sabbe satta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Wish for the well-being of the world. Today especially we will make a strong wish. After practicing this meditation, our mind is stronger than previously. With this strong loving kindness focused mind, we will make a genuine wish. May all the conflicts in the world come to a resolution. May all the people in power, people in the position of authority, power, people who are making decisions, may they all realize the importance of preciousness of the life. May they all have compassion and wisdom. And may they make good decisions to save lives. And may they find alternative ways to meet their needs. May they find alternative ways to address their concerns. And may there be resolution and de-escalation to all the conflicts. May the rulers be wise, righteous, and compassionate. And may there be peace in the world. With that wish, we will chant. May the weather be pleasing. May the people prosper in their lives. May there be peace and happiness in the world. May the rulers be righteous. May all those who are suffering be free from suffering. May all those who are in fear be free from fear. May all those who are in grief be free from grief. May all beings be well and happy. Aspiration. May this wholesome act quicken the liberation of my mind from mental defilements. By virtue of this wholesome act, may I never follow the unwise people. May I associate with good people until I attain Nibbana. If by purification, if by body, speech, or mind, I have collected them wrong, I acknowledge them all in front of the Tathagata of great wisdom and eternal being. Okay, now we will do our blessing chant. And today our Bhante Saddha and myself will be chanting for you and wishing you all the blessings. And we are going to chant the Loving Kindness Sutra. And this particular sutra was given by the Buddha with great compassion for living beings. So we will chant the same sutra for you today. And especially today we want to extend our blessings to Nancy Modita, wishing you a healthy and happy birthday and wishing you healing and recovery and good health. And also you may also recall to your mind whoever you want to share these blessings with. May you all receive these blessings of the great compassion of the Buddha May you receive the blessings of the wholesome vibration we are generating now. May you all be blessed with good health, peace, and happiness. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Karaniya manta kusalena yang tang sang tang padang abhisavincha sakko ujocha sujocha suvacho chasansa mudu anatimani santo sansakocha subarocha ampakinchocha sallahuka buddhi santrindriyocha nipakocha ampagambo kulesu ananugindo nacha kundang samachare kinchena vinyo pare upavadeyum sukino vakemino hontu sabbe satta bhavantu sukitanta ye kechipana bhuta tasava tavarava anavasesadighava ye mahanta Manjimara sansakanukatula dittava eva additta yecha dure vasanti avidure bhutavasang Vavesi vasabbe satta bhavantu sukhitanta pero parang Nikumbet nati magnet kanta chinang kanchi vyarosana patiga sangnyananya manyasnsa dukkhamitchai mata yata niyang puttang ayusa eka putte manurakhe evampi sabba bhutis manasam bhavaye aparimanang mettang ca sabba lokasmi manasam bhavaye aparimanang Undang adocha tiriyang ca asangpadang averang asapatang tentang cara nising nova sayanova yavatasang vigata mindo etang sating aditteya brahma metang Viharang idamaho ditting ca anupagamma silava dasansanena sangpanno kamis vinaya geta nahi jatu gambaseyang punareti etena sancavajjena sonti te hotu sambada etena sancavajjena sambarogo vinassatu etena sancavajjena hotu te jaya mangalam Sabbitiyo vivajjantu sabbarogo vinassatu mate bhavattvantarayo sukhi digayuko bhava bhavatu sabba mangalang Rakkantu sabba devata sabba buddhanubhavena sada sotthi bhavantu te bhavatu sabba mangalam Rakkantu sabba devata sabba dhammanubhavena sada sotthi bhavantu te bhavatu sabba mangalam Rakkantu sabba devata sabba sanghanubhavena sada sotthi bhavantu te. Let us spend a moment of reflection. Try to recall to your mind whatever kind deed that you were able to do during your past few days. Think about an incident that happened in your life during past few days, that you were able to be kind to someone. You were able to help someone. Even a simple act of kindness. Let us rejoice these opportunities to be kind to others. On this day, or in the past, if I had done kind deeds to other beings, with my body, speech, or mind, whether great or little, here before the Buddha, I call to mind those kind deeds, and let my heart rejoice. I rejoice in those kind deeds, appreciating the opportunity to be helpful to others. I rejoice in those kind deeds, wishing more opportunities to practice compassion. I rejoice in those kind deeds, resolving not to compare myself with others. I rejoice in those kind deeds, and glad to share this joy with all beings everywhere. May my kind deeds relieve the burdens of other beings. May my kind deeds shield me from all dangers and pain. May my kind deeds and merits that come from them help me in freeing my heart. Now recall to your mind whatever kindness we receive from others. Think about an incident, moment that someone was kind to you. Someone was listening to you. Or you notice the kind act of someone. Let us rejoice the goodness of others. On this day, or in the past, if I have seen or heard of the kind deeds done by others, with their body, speech, or mind, whether great or little, here before the Buddha, I call to mind those kind deeds, and let my heart rejoice. I rejoice in the goodness of others, being always ready to praise kind people and follow their example. I rejoice in the goodness of others, appreciating that there are many good-hearted people in the world. I rejoice in the goodness of others, expressing gratitude for any kindness done. May the kind deeds of others bring safety and happiness to many living beings. May the kind deeds of others foster gratitude and fellowship among many living beings. May the kind deeds of others nurture goodness in me and many living beings. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thank you everyone for your participation today. I appreciate your participation. And today we have a birthday cake. So I invite you to stay a little behind to sing a birthday song and the cake. And so April 12th is the Sri Lankan New Year celebration. So we'll have a beautiful celebration here. We'll be receiving emails, so please come and enjoy traditional Sri Lankan food made by our Sri Lankan families. And also we have yes. And we have different programs, cultural programs, including we have a forgiveness session. We ask forgiveness from each other. So it's a new year actually. Sri Lanka New Year falls in April. Actually, it's the appropriate time to have New Year with the spring. But anyway, so everyone is welcome. April 12th, and this other one is actually in May. We celebrate the birthday of the Buddha, or the Vesak ceremony 3, the birth, enlightenment, and passing of the Buddha. So we have 2 ceremonies. One is here, one is in downtown. On May 17th, which is the 3rd Sunday, we will have big ceremony in the downtown, and then together with many other Buddhist groups. And this year, we are adding a peace walk to our Vesak ceremony. So we'll have our own Pittsburgh peace walk. Okay, so please remember that day. Please help organizing it, and we'll receive emails, and then we need a lot of volunteers to organize this. So that is May 17th. Okay, so April 12th and May 17th. Mark your calendar. Don't miss it. Thank you, everyone. Appreciate you being, and those who join our YouTube, really appreciate your participation, and wish you all the blessings. And please look forward to see you in your next event. Yeah. And please come to have blessing string.
Here's this card for Nancy if anybody can get a chance to sign it in the library.
Yeah, we can just.
Sounds fun. Yeah.
I'm so glad to see you. See you again. Nice to meet you. Good to see you again. Can you give me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We are to the house.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah. I was wondering about this, if I should sage it or something.
Yeah.
Like, clear the energy.
We also use
Yeah. Oh, wow. Let me talk to my boyfriend
Perfect.
about
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
And that sounds nice for me, but I'll make sure with him first, but I'll email you.
Okay. Yes.
Okay. Your name is, okay. Okay, I will email you. Thank you. Appreciate it.
You're gonna get questions. Well, not now. Yeah, well, I don't.
Sure. Thank you so much. Nice to see
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fortunately, it's tumor. It's great.
Last week you were traveling, right? Yeah.
No, it was so great.
That's what they say. Yeah. The boring stuff. I was doing some work.
Oh, geez.
Yeah. I wouldn't leave on Friday, but then when I leave on Friday evening, my sister flies in on Friday morning, and she's
Oh,
Yeah, it's just, yeah. Yeah, I can see. So hopefully my sister will probably get back.
Okay, well, nice to see you guys.